All right, so this is the hint for question number 3. We have a function, and we're going to be using function notation to solve, and so actually it's going to be very similar to question number 1. It's also going to review a little bit about solving quadratic equations and some of those special cases. So for A, we have to find f of 2, and so remember, anytime the value is inside the parentheses, that just means plugging it in for the independent variable. So instead of x, right, this is f of x, instead of x, we're going to have 2's. So let's just go ahead and do that. 14, 2 squared plus 3. 14, so exponents before multiplication, so this will be 14 times 4 plus 3. And then 14 times 4 is 56. So this is 59. That's all f of 2 means. It means you plug in 2. The second question is that example where instead of having a value here, we have f of x equals 59. What that means is we're going to rewrite our entire equation, and then we're going to say equals 59. So it's kind of a coincidence, but actually we already know one value for this. We know 3. We know 2. If you plug in 2, you get 59. So we can already guess that one of the solutions to this is 2. But technically there's 2 solutions, so let's go ahead and work it out algebraically. This is a quadratic function, so we're going to have to solve it. However, we don't have to do any factoring or any kind of diamond-based factoring for this problem, because anytime you don't have a, b, and c, there's always some easier ways to solve the quadratic function. So we only have a and c. So this is a case where we're just going to kind of split it, box it, move it, solve it. Our goal is to solve for x. So the first thing we want to do is get rid of 3. Minus 3 minus 3. And we have 14x squared equals 56. And we're still trying to solve for x, so we want to divide by 14. Divide by 14. And what we get is x squared equals, well, 56 divided by 14, I think that's 4. And then now we're still trying to solve for x, so we've got to get rid of squared. And we do that with square root. And as I mentioned in the video for number 1, anytime you use square root to solve, you need to do plus and minus on the other side of the equation. What that means is we're going to have 2 solutions. One of the solutions is going to be 2, because 2 times 2 is 4. But the other solution is going to be the negative version, x equals negative 2, because negative 2 times negative 2 is also 4. So one of the solutions we knew because it was kind of coincidentally related to part A. But there's really 2 solutions to this problem, and this is kind of how you should be able to solve for it. Set it equal to 59, so write out the function equals 59. And then since it's not an A, B, C situation, it's just A and C, we can just subtract 3, divide by 14, take the square root, do just kind of normal algebra solving. All right, I think there's another question, and I believe, let's see. Let's go ahead and kind of make a new screen. And I thought I had it prepared, but we're going to do this one more time. We're going to have a function that's f of x equals x squared plus 5x. And what we're going to do in part A is find f of 4. And so finding f of 4 just means taking x, and instead of having an x, we're going to plug in a 4, right? We've replaced x with 4, which means we're going to go back into this equation and replace x with 4. And here we're just going to evaluate. Remember, when you are just number crunching, it's called evaluating. When you're working backwards, it's called solving. So this is 16 plus 20. Oh, no need for the square there. 16 plus 20. So it's 36. Let's do a part B. And for part B, we're going to say that find x if f of x equals negative 6. So this is that case where instead of plugging in a number for x, we're going to rewrite our function and set our function equal to, in this case, negative 6. Here, we actually have to do factoring our quadratic equation. We do have a value, a b value, and then what will be in a moment a c value. You cannot factor until you've done something that's very important, which is set your function equal to 0. So at the moment, our function is equal to -6. That's a problem. We want to make it equal 0, so let's add 6 so that it adds up to 0. But whatever you do on one side of the equation, you have to do on the other, so we're going to add 6 to this side. And that's going to give us our quadratic function, x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0. All right, now we have an a, b, and c term, and we can go ahead and factor using the diamond. B is for bottom, so it's going to add up to 5, and a times c in this case is 6. So we just have 3 and 2. 3 times 2 is 6, 3 plus 2 is 5. So that lets us know that this factors into x plus 3, x plus 2, and then that is still equals 0. Remember, you can only take these two values and just write the final answer if you have 1x squared. I cannot stress this enough. It's a shortcut, and it's a shortcut that's only legal because a equals 1. All right, we're almost done. Remember, we're not just factoring, we're solving. So if x plus 3 equals 0, we have x equals -3 as a solution. And if x plus 2 equals 0, we have x equals -2 as a solution. All right, and we're done with that one.